right, everyone. Welcome to Talking Equity. My name is Tavares Terry. I am our Director of Diversity, Equity, Access, and Inclusion here at WATEC. And I am so happy to have as a guest here today our state CIO, Bill Kehoe. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it. This is good. This is good.
So the point of our Talking Equity series is to take what we learned last year, the awareness about why diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important, and really make it real for people. So as we talk to folks, what we want to learn is, what does that mean for my job? Because believe it or not, that's a question I get asked. So again, thank you for being here. And I really want to kick this off with a question that I hope is not too controversial. Equity is a part of diversity. It's the fairness, it's everything that we want people to understand of why we have to consider others. But in our field, in tech, we often still see a lot of those inequities. We see bias and things like that. So in your opinion, why is it so important for us to understand equity in this work?
Oh, it's who we are as public servants, right? We're public servants. And we have to serve all the public, right? We're not serving a certain segment of the public. And I think that's really important for us in technology to remember, is who our customers are. Because oftentimes we think about, well, our technology that's feeding our services that agencies are consuming, and we get so technology focused, we forget why we're here. We're here to serve the public. And not just one segment of the public, the entire public of the state of Washington, right?
Yeah.
And there's communities out there that aren't being served in the same way as other communities. And that's when we get into the opportunity for all and equity and values that all of our residents should be able to embrace and understand. So I look at things that we're doing now that I get excited about that go to your question, like our resident portal.
Very exciting.
I mean, that's what a great example of what we're talking about. A portal that has multi ways to communicate and that engages communities where they are, and what they have and don't have doesn't matter as much. And so how they engage with their government, how they receive services with their government, they all should have that opportunity. And we can't keep designing systems for the few that have all of the technology, and we have to design systems for all the communities. And that's what the resident portal is all about. And it's about user-centered design. It's about going out into the communities and actually asking them.
No, what?
Yeah.
Asking people what they need?
Asking people what they need and how they want to engage with their government and where their pain points are.
Outrageous philosophy.
And we're doing that with the resident portal. And what we're getting back is, why do we have to go to 5 or 6 different places to get the services we need? That's not my experience with Amazon Prime or other things. It's like, we want to go to one place. And it's like, yes, that's what we're doing here. And then the accessibility part.
Yes.
That goes to diversity and equity, right?
Yes, very important, because what we often experience is that, like you said, those that already have the means or the access, if you will, we make the technological advances towards that, right? Like, how do we make what you already have better, which leaves some people behind? And that kind of gets me to the next thing that I want to ask, because
we got to talk about the digital divide, man.
Is
that where you're going?
That's where we're going. So this thing is real.
It is so real.
If you've never heard of that, the digital divide is real. It's like most things that we see in our world. Those who have more. Those that don't, they don't. And as we create new technologies, as we think about how to move forward, we often are leaving those communities behind. In order for us to identify who those communities are, address those biases that we have within our tech systems and things like that, I see that we gather a lot of data, right? Like, someone wants your information for this, somebody wants that. We need to identify this group, et cetera. But then it seems like the organizations don't really know what to do with that data, so the divide exists still. in your opinion, what's the purpose of having a good data strategy to address that digital divide?
The digital divide is not getting smaller. It's getting larger. And it's getting larger in that it's creating those that don't have access at their households, wherever they are, families, individuals. Think about what they don't have access to. And think about the cycle of poverty, homelessness, reduced living age, all the things that go with not being able to apply for jobs online, not being able to get health care, their kids not being able to do their homework or whatever that is. That's what, I mean, our society now is really designed around access to the internet and all these online services. And if you don't have that, you talk about not having opportunity that others have. It's huge. I mean, we've got to solve this problem. And we have to come up with solutions, many different solutions, to try to close this gap. And the data piece is important because we have limited resources, right? We have some federal grants, we have some internal money to address this problem, but where do we put those resources? We need a data management strategy around not just digital divide, poverty reduction, all the governor's priorities. We need a data strategy so that we can focus our limited resources, both dollars and staff, in those areas that need it the most. And we're not just going, oh, I think this area over here in Snohomish County needs something.
Just guessing.
Yeah.
Throw it up against the wall.
Yeah, so you've got to be able to bring that data together, and we have modern data analytical platforms now that we're implementing. You've got to be able to analyze that data, and you've got to be able to get down to, if you can, the household level, but at least those communities that need support the most. And then you have to identify, you have to go into those communities, and because it's not just about broadband, it's about digital literacy and training, and it's about devices, and each community might need a different thing. And so that's our opportunity to get out and really get into these communities more. So I think there's huge opportunity here, but we tend to just spin in this area a little too much. And I think we need a focused strategy that includes a data management strategy.
So I've got one more question for you, and it has to do with emerging technology that seems to have been around, but is really on the hot seat, if you will, lately. And
the hype cycle.
When we talked earlier about what people have access to, artificial intelligence is here. And it's here every day. Mm-hmm. And where do you see us like addressing that digital divide in terms of AI? Because like I said, it's here. Mm-hmm. It's not around the corner.
Yeah, so I think AI is going to be very transformative in terms of how we're doing our work. But we're still in the early stages of even learning about it. We know that AI is embedded in some of our vendor products, especially around security and things like that. That's good. But in terms of how we're going to use it, like generative AI, ChatGPT in our daily work, we're still in our early infancy on that. But the good thing is we do have a community of practice that's come together that our privacy officer and our CTO are leading. It's very successful. And they've developed guidelines for agencies. That's good. They're looking at use cases. They've involved local government. They have industry come in at various times. So we'll get to learn together. And then we have the governor's executive order that we're leading that's requiring agencies to come together around procurement and training and workforce impacts and how it's going to impact disadvantaged communities. And there's a big equity piece to that as well. So we're going to work together, come up with those reports, but we're also wanting to create an environment where agencies can experiment with this, so we're not waiting for a year to complete all this. I think in the future, what you're going to see, back to your data question, AI is going to be able to be put on top of an analytics platform. around digital divide type data and give us incredible insights into that data that we don't have today, and help us get to those areas that we need to focus on. That's the power that I see of AI. It's the power of what data sets can AI securely access to give us those insights and those answers much faster and much more efficient than we have today.
And what a wonderful world that would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, and having this chat. Thank you again.
All right.
And we'll talk to y'all
It's a pleasure.
soon.
Glad you're with us.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Talking Equity.